we haven't done a spotlight for a couple of episodes, so I thought we should quickly do one.
Yeah.
As I say, this is a game that I've picked up this literally this week, but I've had it a couple of times before, and I certainly had it back in the early 90s when it first came out. It actually was released in 1989 under the name Super Shinobi when the MegaDrive came out. Because obviously the MegaDrive came out not obviously, but if you didn't know, the MegaDrive came out in '89 in Japan, and then came out in 1990 in the States and in Europe. When it came out in the Western market, it was retitled The Revenge of Shinobi. And yeah, one of the sort of earliest games. It's a standard sort of platformy ninja game, for want of a better phrase. And you can control, the main player controls a character called Joe Musashi on his quest to rescue his bride, as these games always were. Go and rescue your girlfriend from the evil Neo-Zed gang or terrorist group or whatever they were. It sounds really cheesy when you're talking about it now, but it was a really, really great game. It's pretty simple controls, but very effective. Your B button was your standard attack, throw your shurikens. Button C was your jump. Double press the C to do a somersault, and A was your ninjutsu magic, which you had 4 different types of magic that you could use through the game. The ninjutsu of Akazuchi, which basically made you invincible for a short time. Well, you could absorb 4 hits. The ninjutsu of Keiru, I'm probably pronouncing these all completely incorrect, so I do apologise. Which basically 4 giant dragon-shaped columns of fire fly across the screen and damage all the enemies. The ninjutsu of Fushin, which makes you jump a lot higher, and the ninjutsu of Majin, which makes you blow up and kill people, but you lose a life when you do it. Yeah. But yeah, it was just a really, really enjoyable game. Very tough. I don't know if you remember playing it much when you back in the day. Do you maybe?
No, I don't. Do you know what? I thought this was a different game actually. I'm thinking of a game I used to play on the Spectrum.
Okay.
Called Saboteur.
Right.
Which was very similar, but obviously about 400 less colours.
Yeah.
So it plays very much the same with the same sort of kind of the ninja will sort of, as he jumps, he can go into the little ball and do lots of spins before he lands again. That's the same as Saboteur. He throws his knife. What are the shurikens? Is that
shurikens? That's what they're called.
The spinning
knives.
That's it. Yeah. Which for some reason are banned in this country.
Yes.
Don't know why. Bloody Cameron's Britain. Anyway, so Saboteur and Saboteur 2, which was the game I played more. I never played this. Played this, but I thought I had. And then I'm looking at it, and that's not the one I did play. So it looks really good, though.
It is really, really cool. So it's a challenge, but basically there was a cheat for it. And I don't think I've ever played the game without the cheat, because without the cheat, it's ridiculously hard. Your shurikens, you have a limited amount of shurikens, and you run out of them so quickly, because when you do a double jump, a spin, and then press shoot, you spray like 8 at once in like an arc.
Oh yeah.
Which you have to do to kill loads of the enemies, because if you're just firing one at a time, it's really, really difficult. So if you do it normally with your limited supply of shurikens, it becomes very, very hard indeed, because you run out of ammo. So there's an infinite shurikens cheat, which I knew back in the day, and it still works on the ROMs and everything now. When if you go into the options and you select 0 shurikens and then hack the start button repeatedly, it will eventually morph into an infinity sign.
Brilliant. That's a really good top tip, Games Master.
It is thank you very much. Games Master. But yeah, you can't play that game without it. Another little top tip. No, I'll save that for another episode. But yeah, it was cool. It's over like 8 levels. But one of the funny things about the game is that when it was originally released, loads of the bosses are basically complete and utter rip-offs of real sort of cultural characters.
Okay.
I've just been looking at images of it, and I was about to ask this question.
Yeah, such as Godzilla. Godzilla is in the game. The Terminator, Batman,
Batman,
and Spider-Man,
Oh my god! So like rip-offs of those characters.
Yeah, they are. They
characters.
are basically that look exactly like them and kind of act like they are. Except Batman has like these big bat wings and flies around, which caused a lot of issues when the game was released in the Western market for all the copyright reasons.
Yeah.
There's actually quite a few different versions of the game. There's 3 different versions of the original game where they basically phased out or sort of changed the graphics of some of these characters, because Rambo's in it as well. There's these characters that walk around with these big flamethrowers that look exactly like Rambo.
Yeah.
But if you've got like the vintage car sort of from the Western release from like 1990, they've basically amended most of that, so it's doesn't infringe copyright. The only exception being Spider-Man, because Sega had the rights for Spider-Man because they had a Spider-Man game that came out in 1990. So they allowed it, Spider-Man was allowed to stay in the game. So Spider-Man is still in it, which is pretty cool. And you just beat him up. But yeah, it was just bizarre. You'd never get that now, would you? You know, just random characters from different franchises shoehorned into a game.
Well, yeah, no, it's
not so blatant as that.
No.
You know, not without a license.
That's right.
But this is part of the reason why a lot of people probably haven't played this game, is because unlike, say, Streets of Rage and the Sonic series, which have been released on an infinite amount of platforms, this hasn't, because of the licensing problem. Until I think 2012, it wasn't available on Xbox or PlayStation at all, and it is now, but they've obviously changed the game in order to take all these characters out. So if you actually want to play the original game as it was coded, as it was meant to be, you've got to play it either as a ROM or as I have been playing it, on the actual cartridge. But you can get it, as I say, you can get an edited version on Xbox Live and PlayStation Network. But annoyingly, you have to buy it bundled with Alex Kidd and Miracle World and Super Hang-On, which aren't quite as good. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, well, Super Hang-On, that was a fun little game, that was.
They're all right, but this is much better. So.
Yeah, yeah. No.
So definitely one to check out. I mean, the graphics by MegaDrive standards were a bit limited because it was right at the start of the machine's life, but the music, as you'll hear in this podcast, is fantastic. It's great vintage game music. So check it out if you can.
How are you getting on in your playthrough? Are you finding it as hard? Now, you say you put the cheat in, obviously, for the. How far are you? Are you going to complete it?
Oh gosh.
Can you save? I don't suppose you.
No, you can't save. Not on the cartridge. No, not on the original.
Yes. So you got. Is there infinite lives as well?
Well, the other little tidbit, there is an infinite lives cheat, in the sense that when you get to, I think it's about level 4, there's a factory level.
Right.
Where on the first, as you start the level, if you do a somersault shuriken shoot, it shoots and reveals a hidden extra life just over a pit, which if you jump onto it, you fall down the pit and die, but the extra life actually gives you 2 lives. So you gain 2 lives and you lose 1, so you effectively gain 1. So you can keep doing that forever, should you wish to. So there is kind of infinite lives.
Get yourself 100 lives, I mean.
Yeah. So do you know, I never actually finished it, even back in the 90s. I got to the second to last level, and it just it's so tough.
Yeah.
Good, but fun, but really, really difficult.
That's right. Was there an arcade? Was there an arcade game of this? I've got a.
Not of this one. I think.
What was the arcade?
It was the original Shinobi, I think.
Yeah. Hang on, let me just.
Because there was this. The first Shinobi. There was Shadow Dancer, which was I think that was an arcade game as well. And then there was Shinobi 3, which is a bit more well known because that was on the Sega Mega Drive collection that obviously you can get on the Xbox and the PlayStation. Which is like graphically superior to this and probably a slightly better game, but I kind of like this one more because it's the one I had first and the one I played more. So, but yeah.
Oh, Shinobi. That was the one. Yeah, just Shinobi. It was called. Yeah.
So there we go. Revenge of Shinobi.
Stuff. Yeah, no, look, it's nice going down memory lane here, seeing a game that I do remember. I don't personally remember playing, but I remember it being. I kind of missed out on some of this stuff. I was too up my own arse with the old sports sims. I was playing too much like PG. It's just the same as it is now.
PGA Tour Golf.
PGA Tour Golf.
Madden.
Every year. Madden, FIFA. Yeah. And that was 20 years ago, and I'm still doing it now.
Yeah.
And not playing The Last
And you'll be doing it for another 20 years.
I will do. Yeah.
Well,
why? What's happening?
One of you guys will have to do. One of you guys will have to do a spotlight next time and dig something out of the depths. Not necessarily 16-bit era, but anything. Really.
No. Certainly some of those games on the old Specky, which close to my heart, because that was my first machine. But, good one, Rob. Yeah, nice one, mate.
Cool. All right then. Well, I think that'll wrap up this show. It's been a very long show, so thank you everybody for listening. So please, if you've got anything, if you've got any games that you think we should spotlight or any questions at all, then by all means drop us a line via Twitter. We are of course at Control Zone Pod, or go onto our website, which we plug at least 10 times an episode, which is www.thecontrolzone.co.uk, and we're trying to update things a bit more on there. But yeah, if you want to contact us on there, then do so. But Ricky, if people want to find you individually, yourself, alone, in the internet, where can they find you?
Well, I do have a new profile with the music. Anyway, yes, so I'm at Ricky32, which is my Twitter handle. So that's RIKKI32. I do sometimes frequent the glorious pages of YouTube as well, under our Control Zone podcast YouTube account. So I haven't done much recently. I haven't been at home, but I have great ideas of doing lots of things, but never actually get around to doing anything. So, but it was good to see Simon doing some stuff recently, which is maybe the way to go. But yeah, there we go. That's me.
Cool. And Si, yourself?
I am Lost815 on the PSN network, and I'm Simon Clark 84 on Twitter, and it's Clark is CLARKE, all one word.
Excellent stuff. As for me, I'm on Twitter, Predaking79, although at the moment I tend to just log in as the Control Zone one and tweet on that one, to be honest. So I'm using that a bit more. And you can also find me on YouTube, again, Predaking79. I did actually upload a video this week for the first time in about 2 months.
Yeah, go and watch it. It's quite good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just thoughts about my sort of, over the last few months, sort of getting more back into my gaming and less into my vintage toy collecting, and just a little bit of a ramble, really. Yeah. So if you want to listen to that bag of shite, then check it out. I'm selling it very well.
You are.
So yeah, and last of all, obviously, I've already mentioned our site and our Twitter feed, but you can also find us on the Nerdsphere, which is thenerdsphere.blogspot.com, and that is a network of various podcasts, vintage toys, movies, cult movies, and we are the video game podcast from that. So check them out if that's something that interests you. I think that's going to wrap up episode 17. So thank you everybody for listening, and thank you gents for another epic show.
No problem.
No problem at all.
Excellent. Well, I think we shall say farewell. So it's goodbye from me.
Yep, it's goodbye from me, Ricky.
And it's goodbye from me.
And thanks again for listening, and we will see you next time on The Control Zone. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.